First 7-Inch Club, episode 245. First 7-Inch Club is a podcast where we dig up 7 inches from the past within the realms of hardcore, punk, and metal and discuss whether or not they're worth being remembered. We also provide facts and trivia that we get from the internet and our own personal experiences. For once, I have personal experiences, so that's pretty much all I have. I didn't have to do any research for this episode. I live this shit. So I am Mike, and with me is Scott.
I had to do a lot of research. I'm not from not from the area. So I don't have much to say this week other than things are probably going to change for the podcast.
Yeah.
Everything you hear that's not me or Mike is done through edits. And those edits take work. And now that work is costing us because Spotify has updated their algorithm to detect copywritten songs a little better than they used to before. It seems, anyway. So there actually used to be that if you detuned a song even a little bit, one way or the other, you know, they just ignored it. If you slowed it down a little bit, they ignore it. So obviously my ending songs are very pitched down, and we were getting away with it. And even some of the music I use as bed music in the State of Mind and, other places. I was using the Iron Chef backdraft music for the Patreon roll call. Not going to be doing that anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do. The choices are, I guess, do what we usually do and just let Spotify delete our episodes, and we'll recommend you don't use Spotify anymore. That's one thing. I'm sure other platforms are going to catch up. Or we do our episodes to the main feed with no music and no editing. And if you want the good version with the whole album, the whole record embedded in it for free, basically, that's in Patreon for a couple bucks. Or I don't do anything. I just stop editing because editing is hard. We just stop adding the music like we used to do. The early episodes didn't have that stuff anyway. We just have like opening and a closing theme song like the old days, and those are my music, so I can do whatever I want with them. This episode, for instance, because it's a band who are like Grammy nominees, I think.
Yeah.
Are probably within the algorithm. It's probably going to detect it if we put this record up and completely intact and pull the episode almost immediately. So I'm probably not going to do that. Probably won't put the music in this episode. This will be our first taster. So sorry that the one you probably wanted to hear.
Maybe you could test it out and just put the mosh parts to each song.
Yeah, the drop.
Yeah, and that's it. And see if that.
I'll do the mosh call. I'll do in my own voice. I'll do the mosh call before it. And then we'll put the Hatebreed, or maybe I'll do like an 8-bit version of the of the drop.
This is happening to every podcast. It's not just us. Obviously, you've probably heard this on other shows. My friend does a podcast that he's been doing forever, like for millions of years, and he has like a theme song that he paid the rights to like a million years ago. Some bullshit song that no one fucking cares about. And they last year they hit him with like a copyright strike on every single episode because it's in every single episode because it's a theme song. And he's like, I fucking own this song. Like what are you doing? And so he had to dispute every single one by one for a song he owns. So it's just like, it's stupid. It's all AI, of course, that does this. So I think we just recommend you don't use Spotify.
Yeah. I did dispute the ones where it was because you can say, this music is being used for the purpose of, creative use or review or, parody. Like you can say that. So any of the ones where that applied, I said that. But, obviously just putting the bed music under parts, that's not really fair use. I'm stealing the song. So those, when they had those dinged, I'm just letting that one go. But they dinged all the bloodlit music. Bloodlit music in the Bloodlit episode. And that,
I think anything we do that has reached, at the lowest, the Victory Records level of popularity, we're going to probably have to do something creative. My vote would just be to that, where it'd be, if it's some bullshit band that no one's heard of, it doesn't matter. If it's something at that level, then maybe get creative. Or just play snippets of the song and hope for the best. And I would say, unfortunately, cut out the outro song, which sucks because, people enjoy that part. But that's obviously gonna hit us the most. So so we'll I guess we'll try that this episode. I was surprised that Doom, the band Doom, that got copyright things. So it's a surprise which ones go and get that. His Hero's Gone did too, and it's like what the fuck, guys. I thought you guys were. I thought you guys were against all this shit. Who owns your publishing? This is happening to it.
Not very crusty, fellows. Not very crusty at all.
You should let anybody use this. So I was very surprised by his arrows going, especially because it's not even like one of their main records. It's that 7-inch that probably their least heard thing that they've made, and it still got strikes. So I don't know. If you want to reach us, you can do so at first7inchclub@gmail.com, or go to our Instagram at first7inchclub. Maybe get a answer quicker there if you have a question or whatever. Just message us there. Speaking of this little experiment with his arrows gone, and not so much Captain Jazz. Not many people really gave a shit that we did Captain Jazz, which is kind of weird to me. I don't know. I guess like people are just over it because those dudes have done so many more famous bands afterwards. But we did get a little influx of other people from Captain Jazz, but we got a lot more Instagram followers. So I don't know if that's translating to listeners or it's just people who like looking at album covers that were photoshopped into a fake crate, and they're just like, because it's like not to disparage people that do this, but there's a lot of people that have follow 7,000 people. And it's just like, I don't even know why you do that. That's insane to me. The algorithm, if you follow 50 people, your algorithm's already fucked up and you're still getting updates 3 days late on Instagram. Yeah. I can't even imagine what it's like when you follow 7,000 people. You probably don't even know what's going on. So I don't know if it's just people like that. I don't know if it's people who are interested in the show. Hopefully they're actually interested in the show and that turns into listens. And, we don't have to patronize people by doing all these giant 7 inches anymore, but we'll see. We'll see over the next couple of weeks. I think next week somebody gave me a good idea for another big one of a record that I don't own. So I'll probably, it's not as big as Hatebreed, that's for sure. But it's a bigger one for me at least. So we'll continue with that. I am going to make some time this weekend to actually look into what the fuck's going on with my computer. And hopefully there's just been a Windows update since last time I tried, and hopefully it just fixed everything. See,
that's usually how it works.
That's usually how I fix computer problems. I had that with Roku once, where Roku did an update where it just fucked everything, and I was like, I guess I just can't watch TV for a couple weeks. Yeah, it was just eventually they made a new update and went away, but it sucks. Technology is very cool. Anyways, I did promise a scene report for the National, the big card convention. I actually don't have much to say about it. If you guys are patrons, you actually don't even have to be patrons because it's free to everybody. You don't even have to sign up for the free tier. It's free to anybody who goes to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/first7inchclub. And we will be recording a new episode, which if you are a patron, you've already heard. We're gonna be talking about the 1999 film God Money, starring Rick Rodney from Strife and directed by Darren Doan, who did a lot of early hardcore music videos, including several that we covered on Cinema Bear Goggles. So, so check that out if you're not a patron. But yeah, if you check the Patreon out, I started. I don't know if it's lasting. I don't know how Scott feels about it. It's half his podcast too. Maybe he hates it. I'm sure he doesn't, but. I started the first 3.5 inch club, which is me just talking about weird trading cards that I own. So that's probably the meat of me going to the National, of me trying to justify buying garbage and being like, what should I do with this? I can make content out of it, and that can justify me spending a couple $100 on stupid shit. So that's what you get. I'm very excited about this project, but it's not like hardcore and metal and trading cards go hand in hand, so I don't want to deter patrons from subscribing. I don't want them to be like, oh no, there's too much reading here, or this is clogging up my feed, because like I said, I made it the free tier, or not even a tier, I just put it up for free so anybody could look at it, and I have that email set up for what I get for for being a freeloader on the Patreon. And the email just sent the whole entire post, just it's not even click here to read more. It's just the whole entire post in an email. So if
you paywall it, they'll let you. If you actually put it behind the paywall, they'll let you put a break point where it just shows a little bit. But if you want it to be free, they don't let you do a break like that, which is great.
So I don't want to annoy people if they don't give a shit about cards. But obviously, I'm not going to be posting fucking every day about it. But
so you got five people commenting very favorably on it, so you're doing great. That's probably the most comments we've ever gotten on a Patreon post.
Yeah, so I'm gonna continue to do it, but that was my big takeaway from the National. It was a very big card convention. It was in the Donald Stevens Center, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's in Rosemont. I watched like a few YouTube videos of people there beforehand, and everybody's like, it's very overwhelming. It's very overwhelming. So I was expecting it to be overwhelming. And it's overwhelming for like 10 minutes, but I think these people just need to get out more and go to like bigger cities. Obviously these are people who are just like there to spend thousands of dollars. So maybe for them it is overwhelming because they have to like look at all this shit. I could just walk around and I don't care if I spend $0 or $2,000. Doesn't matter to me. So yeah, I just, walked around and looked at cards and eventually got sick of looking at cards and was like, I think I'm just going to go home. I hate this. And then I was like, I can't just go home. I came here to buy cards, so I had to like psych myself up to buy some cards. Didn't see any too many weirdos. It was pretty much an even split of like half of it was just old dudes who have been collecting cards for 67 years. Yeah, that have just sell them and they have like every single old card ever. And then the other half is like new dudes that call it product and are walking around with like literal Kevlar briefcases with their cards inside of it.
Wow.
And it's just like, I get it.
It's our friend Wolf who probably does that, right?
No, Wolf would hate that. Wolf would fucking hate that shit. So Wolf would be so pissed if he went to something like this, I think. But yeah, like it's weird because it's like, I understand you probably have fairly valuable cards in that Kevlar briefcase. But at the same time, what do you think is going to happen to these cards that you need the Kevlar briefcase? Like, are you a bomb expert? Do you might be on call? You might have to go to a bomb site. You want to keep your cards protected. I don't know. Like, it just seems like an extreme level of protection for cardboard cards that are already in cases. Like, you grade them and they're in this hard plastic case that's like unbreakable. So I don't know why you need this extra protection. I think it's just a status thing, but
if something happens where your briefcase needed to be Kevlar, you're now the weak point. Your flesh is the problem, not the briefcase.
yes, exactly. It's just, it's like it makes you a target, basically. Like if I wanted to rob somebody, I'm going to rob the guy with the Kevlar briefcase.
A nicely protected briefcase that I could just help myself to.
Unless you got a gun on you, you're fucked. Because like it's just like I'm sure it has like codes or something. I'm sure I can get into it though. So it's just like, but I said this last time I went to a card convention. It's very jarring and just extremely strange to me that there's like little kids that do this because I don't know where they get the money from. The stuff I buy is cheap. Like old cards, 100-year-old cards are cheap unless you get the big ones. Like the big ones are obviously very expensive, but the regular guys aren't very expensive. So it's like it's all the new cards that are this expensive. So it's all these kids who are, I don't know, bugging their parents for a couple $100 to buy 10 cards. And it's just like, I can't imagine that lifestyle. It's so weird. But I mean, if it gets them into it, that's cool. Hopefully, obviously they're not into it the same reason I was into cards when I was 8. Cause, this is the only way I could find out about players is like to know who they were was to have cards. So, they don't need that shit anymore. That's the other thing. Like, they're trading cards as a whole are like in a big boom right now. So there's a lot of product out there. There's a lot of different cards, but all the new people, they have like all the same shit. It's just like, what are you doing, man? Like if you had like something cool that was new, I would buy it. But everybody has like all the same shit from like the past few years. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand the new card stuff, but the old guys are cool. They're all very friendly. I hung out. Well, I didn't hang out, but this one guy just had like binders and binders and binders of cards that were all autographed. Like every single one was autographed. They're all pretty much bums in the binders because if they were nice, he would have them like behind the counter. But he just telling me how he's doing it for like 40 years and stuff like that. And he got all these autographs and they're all like $3. And it was like a very wholesome transaction I had looking at cards for like a half an hour and giving him $20 for 5 or 6 or 7 cards that were autographed. All the old guys gave me deals. Like I didn't even ask. They just gave me deals, like stuff like that. So young people, take after these old people. Don't just be in it to treat it like it's a stock or something. Like you should actually like this stuff. It should not just be product to you. You should actually like the stuff that you buy. The only thing that I'm not happy with that I bought was the one new thing I bought, which was a newer set of AEW cards, the wrestling promotion. Because I don't, obviously, if anybody out there, if you know what wrestling is, most merchandise for wrestling is awful, and you would never want it ever, because it would be embarrassing to own. Yeah. So I love AEW, but there's very few things I could own by them. Like I have a few dolls, but I don't want to be a guy with 200 wrestling dolls, because that's kind of weird. So I have like a few. I can never buy one of their shirts, and they don't really sell. Like, I'm definitely never going to buy a belt. Like, that is a whole other level of pathetic. So I was like, well, worst comes to worst, I spend $60 on this box of cards, and I'll at least have the cards. And that's pretty much all I had, because, they, on all the boxes that are of this level of modern stuff, it's like, at least one autograph inside or one hit and stuff like that. And I got jack shit. I got fucking garbage that I can't even resell for anything. So it was just like a big waste of money. But I do have these cards. They're a little pricey for $60, but whatever. It is AEW merchandise, so I do have that. Outside of that, I didn't see any celebrities. I saw there were celebrities all on the internet. Logan Paul was there. The Costco guys, they're all there. I didn't run in any of them because they were in like a section that I just did not really venture into. And not too many smelly guys. There was a couple smelly guys I ran into, but for the most part, pretty decent hygiene there. But I recommend anybody who's into cards to check this out, especially if you're into old cards and just want to look through a bunch of weird shit. But don't get your hopes up for variety. Pretty much everybody has the same shit, so it's not worth going through 17 square miles of people just to get this stuff. But I had a decent time. It was a fun time.
You gotta wear a gold lame suit like that God of Luck guy I watch on TikTok, who opens Pokemons. Every time he opens a Pokemon pack, he always finds what I assume is, he could do, I don't know anything about Pokemon. They could be like the gum that from the back of the pack that he's pulling out, but he always pulls one out and slips it into a little plastic case and gives it to someone, and they're excited. Every single pack, he always picks a winner.
I've seen that guy. I think it's fake. Well, I think it's fake to a point, because you can weigh packs and tell if there's something good in it. So I'm pretty sure he probably he's like, I got a hot pack, so I'm going to use this for my videos. That's what I assume he does.
If you're going to buy a belt, Mike, which belt would you get?
I don't know. I love wrestling, but I've never really thought that hard about the belt part, because they're all ugly to me. Like, none of them are just like, oh, that looks cool. I like. Do they make the old hardcore belt that looks like shit? The one that's all like duct tape together and stuff.
I'm
sure they make that. I like the older, like the very old belts of old wrestling I don't even watch, that were like very tiny and have like like several plates going around the waist of just like guys grappling on them and stuff like that. But I couldn't name like a specific one off the top of my head. There was like a heritage auction deal, like a little display of like all this stuff they're selling for millions of dollars, and that included some old like actual wrestling belts, and a couple of them like looked like total shit, just like looked super fake up close, like just total garbage, and they're selling for like 20 grand because it's they're famous belts. But that's why it's funny that they grift these people buying these replica belts. Like, oh, look at this, and it's like the real ones don't even look that good. So I don't know, but I guess that's your hobby, whatever. I just have never understood wanting to own belts.
I have an unstructured thought. So now that I run a store where there's a lot of stuff, it's sort of beginning to dawn on me that a lot of that stuff is born just to sit there. Yep. That there's like thousands and thousands of records that are never going to sell, but you have to have them. It's expected that your vintage record store has a bunch of shit like that, but it's never going to sell. You just have to sort of like have it like the albatross around your neck. And I assume baseball cards have to be the same way. Are all baseball cards? So these guys have to truck around boxes and boxes of just the mid-tier stuff that no one is ever going to look at, just to sell the 5% that people are interested in.
Yeah, it's pretty much volume. Like, that's why card shops, comic shops, it's all the same shit. Like, if you go to a modern comic shop, like when we were kids, you go to a comic shop and they would have boxes and boxes and boxes of back issues, and you could buy stuff from the 60s and 70s, and it was no problem. It is extremely rare to find a comic shop with back issues that go farther back than like a few years now. And it's just because, you know, they don't like, no one buys it. So they're just like, why put it out? But if you're going to a convention, obviously you have to have stock. But yeah, all those people just prey on dudes that like have literal printed out checklists of like the cards they need to complete their like 1973 top set.
Right.
And they're just like, and they bring their list and they look and see and they match it up. So yeah, it's just selling like usually like a bunch of single cards to people and hoping that's the cards they need.
We weren't supposed to last this long. We were supposed to have been nuked by now. That's the problem. Culture got too far with physical media. No, we can't catalog it the same way. Good news though, my region is getting Costco now, so I can be a Costco guy pretty soon. I'm very excited that I can try the double chocolate chunk cookie and the chicken bake thing, whatever that is. I can't wait.
Okay, I won't waste you guys' time any longer. I know why you're listening, and it's because of our Patreon, patreon.com/7inch club. And it's because every month you get your name shouted out if you are a $5 member. And it is that time for you get your name shouted out. I don't know what Scott's going to use as betting music, if anything, now.
I'm just going to whistle while Mike talks.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to shout out some names. We got Mouth of Infinity. Thank you. I saw Mouth of Infinity. He has a noise project called Pacing Animal, and I just played some show. And I don't know. I always watch his videos on mute. Yeah. And it's just like... Because but it's just so, I don't know. I still don't understand that shit, man. It's weird. Yeah. Keenan, thank you. Dave, forgot that you can't see anything. Dave R, thank you. I'm gonna expand this. Hold on. You can't even expand it anymore. Chris B, thank you. Philip L, thank you. Sawyer, thank you. I'm going to be going to visit Sawyer next month, so I'll see him in real life. Thank you. What's the 7-inch Dave? Thank you. Aaron, thank you. Fred Durst, thank you. Listener Subi, thank you. John Torn, thank you. I think John Torn, might have had some. He commented, so I left proof that he actually still listens to the show. So that's cool. Thank you. Zach C, thank you. Eric S, thank you. Eric H, thank you. Dan G, thank you. Fritz, thank you. Will Ferrell, Big Money Hustler, thank you. Spirit Killer, the band, thank you. Joshua N, thank you. Casey, thank you. Dave V666, thank you. Nicholas T, thank you. Phil Anselmo from the band Pantera, thank you. Charlie Daniels from the band, the Charlie Daniels Band, thank you. Ground Zero Salem, thank you. Ed S, thank you. Cheech, thank you. Dave State of Mind, we'll be talking about him in a minute, thank you. Dan B, thank you. Switchblade, thank you. 311 Never Forget, thank you. Matt D, thank you. Jonah, thank you. I'll talk more about Jonah in the Patreon episode, so you're gonna have to wait. But I have some things. I gotta release the old Patreon episode too. Brian, thank you. Emma and Matto, thank you. Commissar, thank you. Jason K, thank you. Jackie GG, thank you. Chris, the guy who went to school with Jumping John Elway, thank you. Spider One from the band Power Man 5000, thank you. Fiel Riel, thank you. John G, thank you. Troy Blood Unbeaten, thank you. Troy Blood Unbeaten, were you at that Wartime Manor? I guess it's not even a reunion show at this point. Were you at that Wartime Manor show last week? Or is this just a fancy name that you have and you're not really living the Troy Blood life? Well, give us a Wartime Manor show scene report, because it looked like a Wartime Manor show from the videos I saw.
Reminds me of a very important announcement we have to make at the end of this page.
Chris R, thank you. Joe Cams, thank you. J.E., thank you. Zachary W, thank you. No, Zachary W, thank you. Scott J, thank you. Aaron with 1A, thank you. Jason W, thank you. Gotta click the page. It's taking a little while to load. Mr. Chebyshev, thank you. Paul, thank you. Alex B, thank you. Gareth W, thank you. Breaking Edge on Zima, thank you. I think this is, I assume only one Gareth listens. Gareth just told me a cool story about booking the band Owen with the Kinsella brother in it, and how he, after the show, Mike Kinsella just brought everybody to the bar and just bought everybody drinks with his 20-pound paycheck from the Owen show that Gareth booked. So that's pretty funny. Ben K, thank you. Iman, thank you. Wow, somebody has like a grayed out one that just says member. I don't even know how you do that. That's pretty cool. So member, thank you.
Like that's the Kevlar briefcase of membership.
Yeah. You really don't want to get doxxed. That's pretty cool. Chase T, thank you. Cody B, thank you. Jeff L, thank you. Damien. He's still in the band as Friends Rust, but he made an announcement that he's back in the band Morning Again, who are an old 90s hardcore band that I guess are playing shows again. I I saw their first reunion at This Is Hardcore like 10 years ago, and it was like, or whoever, I don't know, I don't think it was Damien at the time was singing, maybe it was, but I remember them saying, we've never played Philadelphia before, and the show was in Philadelphia, and they just had a reunion show in Philadelphia for no reason, but now they're playing more shows, so go check out Morning Again. Dave R, thank you. I'll be seeing Dave in about a month, too, because he lives also the same place Sawyer does. Nice. GMG, thank you. J Money, thank you. Mosh Pit Steamroller, thank you. Menzer Faust Productions, thank you. Kevin B of the band No Division, thank you. They just played a show, by the time you hear this, for last week, with a couple of the old 90s emo bands that are just like one boy name, like Joshua and Elliot. Yeah. I just want to take a second to tip my hat to Albany, New York, that they're progressive enough to have a show with those bands, because I could never imagine Albany where Joshua and Elliot could play and people would show up. So I don't know if that show is empty. I wouldn't doubt it, but that's a weird show for Albany, that's for sure. Yeah. Maybe not the new Albany. It's been a while for me, I guess. Ted Napkin, thank you. Matt H, thank you. Seth, thank you. Jorsk, thank you. R Kid, thank you. On the Lips, please, thank you. Jeffrey R, thank you. No Limit on the Words, thank you. No Limit on the Words. Were you at the Wartime Manor show? Probably not. Thank you. Dillinger Escape Room, thank you. Contraceptron, thank you. John Atkins, thank you. Giro Breath, thank you. Justin W, he has his big Cincinnati Mondo Film Fest. It's not called Mondo. It's one of those other buzzwords. I don't know. Sorry, Justin. I can't remember. But if you're into weird movies, it's a Cincinnati. I forget the Esquire Theater. That's coming up soon. So go check out the Esquire Theater's website. He has a big weird movie fest coming up. Maybe it is the Mondo Movie Fest. I can't remember. But either way, check that out. Marty and Sarah from the Marty and Sarah podcast. They dropped a new episode a couple weeks ago. Go check them out. Thank you. Bring back Virtual Pros, you coward. I don't know. It's seeming doubtful these days. Thank you. Apartment 13 Phil, thank you. From the band Inkwell, thank you. Squirt by the Squirt by the Sun, thank you. That's must be the Burnt by the Runs guy, and he just changed it to make it even worse. So
very gross, very gross.
This guy has all the puns, man. That's great.
By the way, it's the Cincinnati Psychotronic Film Festival.
Psychotronic, yeah, Mondo Psychotronic. All those old man words for weird movies. It's all the same shit.
Psychosomatic, Attic Insane.
The Real Chris Piss, thank you. Biggest fan of Ill Remembered there is. The Real Chris Piss, thank you. Face Ride, thank you. Platts Pat has been more vocal. I've been seeing his comments.
Stepping up. He's really stepping up.
He gave us that scene report. It's great. Chipples, thank you. That's a new one. Casey, thank you. Josh D, I think that's a new one. Oh no, sorry Josh D, you're a $2 member. We're gonna have to censor that. Josh D, no thank you to you. No, seriously, thank you Josh D for your $2. And that is it for our patrons. Thank you very much. We very, very much appreciate it. Scott is keeping his record store alive by your donations, and I am spending all of your money on baseball cards that are worth nothing. So we both have different trajectories with our Patreon winnings, but
the numbers are bumping back up slightly. They had dipped a little bit. They're slowly creeping back up. Let's see if we can get those a little higher. Before we go on, I want to interrupt. We have to make a special scene announcement.
Oh yeah,
Troy Corps has lost its most brilliant soldier, its most beautiful soldier, Dog Balls.
Yes,
Edward Daubney. His obituary does say Edward D.B. Daubney, short for Dog Balls. So his obituary in the public, it tips a hat to his nickname as Dog Balls. I mostly know him because he's just a go-to name. Because it's incredible that there was a scene guy who went by the name Dog Balls, and it's like it rolls off the tongue when you're doing the Cohoes accent. But yeah, he's passed away. I think last Monday or maybe this Monday, and I didn't realize he was a singer and Driven by Rage and Remains of Rage. Wow.
Yeah, I did get I guess happily, well not really because he's still dead, but I did get confirmation from Sam from Lyria and. Our friend Sam, that he was at the last Wartime Manor show. So he did get to see Wartime Manor one last time before he went on to the next plane of mortality or whatever the fuck you call it.
God damn, you're about to make me cry, Mike.
Yep.
Bring the tear to my eye.
Okay. Rest in peace, Dog Balls.
Yep.
I think, anybody under our age has no idea who Dog Balls is, but what you can do.
Surprisingly, he's not that far from my age too. I would have thought that he was, significantly older than me.
No,
but
all those dudes were like 12 when they started their bands, living that hard life when you're 12 years old.
Yeah.
So now we get to talk about our friend at stateofmindrecordings.com. Stateofmindrecordings.com is a website on the internet. It's also a distro and a record label, and they sell old records and new records and old records that have become new records. They sell them all for very cheap prices, as well as $5 flat rate shipping. You can't really beat that. Every week I like to feature a record that they're selling that you can go buy. And this is an old record that I guess is new record, sort of. So it falls under my guidelines. I don't think I knew this record existed, but this is the band Chokehold, one of my favorite bands of all time. They have an LP. I assume this came out, they did like a bunch of reissues about, I don't know, like 4 years ago now. And I don't know if this one slipped through the cracks or I just never noticed it, or maybe I didn't forgot about it. But they have an LP that's just like all of their weird early career collected onto an LP. It's 2150 here. There was a pressing of Prison of Hope on CD many years ago in the 90s that had probably most of the stuff on it, but it was like a single pressing and they never pressed that again. But yeah, so if you want to hear like all of the early Chokehold, which is not good, admittedly not very good, but if you want it and you want to hear it, it's kind of interesting. So I didn't know this LP existed, so that's pretty cool. It's 2150, kind of steep for this, but
yeah.
I'm sure maybe they're not cheap to distro, but either way, it's Chokehold, and you're going to be saving on that shipping anyway. So check out the Chokehold Rarities LP on stateofmindrecordings.com for $21.50.
My front page had a cool looking record by the band Coffin Pricks. We talked about them. What band? I don't know. They were a project of like some band that we talked about not that long ago, because I remember talking about them. But they're a Chicago like kind of post-punk garage band. So I mostly just like the cover. I was like, I like that cover. It's kind of like they did the CMYK offset thing where the yellow and the blue and the pink are kind of like all misregistered, almost like a 3D comic book. And it is kind of like the skull in the middle is differently offset. So maybe if you did have 3D glasses, this would look like something. I'm not sure, but I just liked it. So that's kind of why I picked it. And then I went and listened to it. I backfilled it to see if I like the music. And I do. I actually really like this music. It's kind of, the description says, these songs are exciting, smoking hot garage punk rippers with a bit of post-punk tinge, yet at the same time they're weird. Not self-consciously offbeat like Devo-core egg punk, but in a subtler, more difficult to diagnose way. And I agree with that. There's something a little bit kind of new wavy off about it. The melodies are cool. It's like someone really smart is in this band. That's all I could say. And actually a lot of the songs where they're a little harder, where I don't know who the singer is, but where he reaches for this other voice. Most of the time he sings in kind of a mid-range, and then other songs he does he does one of those voices. Sounds almost exactly like Sean McCabe, and the songs are even kind of little squelchy Ink and Daggery. So if you wanted to hear the egg punk or the garage punk version of an Ink and Dagger band, maybe a couple of these tracks might scratch that itch. But I thought it was pretty cool. I just buy it for the cover. I think the cover is cool, and then the fact that the record inside is pretty cool. That's just a bonus. It's just cherry on top.
And there you have it. Stateofmindrecordings.com. Okay, we have talked enough, and it is finally time for what you came for. We are finally, after 17 years of doing the show, talking about the band Hatebreed and their first 7-inch Under the Knife on Smorgasbord Records from 1996. Hatebreed is still a band from Connecticut. They're still going. They're still chugging along 30 years later. They've put out a bunch of stuff. I mean, they're fucking Hatebreed. They're still putting out stuff. They have 70,000 records, and not many 7-inches. They really only have this one and a couple split 7-inches, and then I think they have weird promotional stuff. But Hatebreed. I'm originally from Connecticut. If you are a new listener, I was a day one Hatebreed person. Even I was minus day one because originally, there's a band Josta 14 that Jamie Josta, that's where he gets the name from. He's in a band called Josta 14. Covered them. He was starting a band called Hatebreed, and featured a couple people. The original like pre-demo lineup featured a couple people from my good friend at the time. It featured a couple people from my good friend at the time's older brother's band, Miasm, which has been mentioned here and there on this show and other podcasts I've done, including the drummer Dave Russo, who's on the 7-inch. And the originally they had, I forget the other guy's name, but there was a bassist from Miasm was I guess trying out, but I don't think he made the cut at the end of the day. But and this was great joy for me and my friend, because it was his older brother had this band called Miasm. It was a death metal band. They played one show and broke up, and they all of the members of Miasm, Dave Russo and Matt and Doug, my friend's older brother, and the other guy whose name I forget, they all were very embarrassed by this. And I don't understand, like, as a little kid at the time, so I was just like, oh, they really hate this. But I mean, and all they didn't even have a demo. They had one videotape with their one performance on it. And it just sounded like death metal to me. I don't know what they were so embarrassed about it, but they're all very embarrassed, and they hated when you talked about it, hated when you brought it up, and they hated that these little asshole kids that they knew would always bring it up to them.
Wow.
And the gem of this tape, this VHS tape of their performance as Miasm, is it was like some weird, it was at the pre-tune-in, which was, I think it was called like the Rock Cafe or something, and a really lame name before it became the tune-in. And it was like some like pseudo open mic thing where it was like just a bunch of random bands playing. So they had like a host that would introduce the bands. So the host came up to introduce Miasm. He said, taking the stage next is Miasm. Feel free to slam. And that has become, part of my lexicon for the last 30 some years. Even Scott wasn't there. He's never seen the tape. It's become people who have only heard this podcast, part of their lexicon too. And it is from this tape. And that tape has featured members of Hatebreed on it. So yeah, at one point my friend was like, yeah, Dave and whatever the guy's name is, I forget his name. They have a new band with Jamie called Hatebreed. And at the time, we did not know who the Misfits were at the time. I know that is unfathomable for you young people who think like everybody's bored knowing the Misfits. I had no fucking idea who the Misfits were. So they had that song Breeders of Hate, and so I never heard that. So we just thought Hatebreed was like the hardest name ever. So we were just like anticipating this band Hatebreed. The bassist got weeded out. And but I think Matt from Miasm was supposed to be in it at one point. That didn't work out, so they solidified their thing. They released a demo, and I must have heard the demo before I owned it, because I just remember the demo blowing my mind. But I remember buying the demo. I can't remember who sold it to me, but I remember I was hanging. This is so weird because it's just like such a 90s kid thing. I was hanging out at the diner, like outside of the diner in my town, and a car just pulled up, and it was like, "Hey, you want to buy a Hatebreed demo?" And I was like, hell yeah, I do. And I just bought a Hatebreed demo from somebody's car. And that's how I got my Hatebreed demo. And obviously it's mind-blowing. I love Hatebreed. I mean, I loved Hatebreed up until a point, like most people. Like now they just make music for cops. But what are you going to do? I shouldn't say that, but it is cop music now. It's not their fault. It's just like, that's what happens. So they reached a different stratosphere than anything I would care about in the early 2000s. But, for the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s, oh man, you could not beat Hatebreed for me. They're my favorite band. I've gotten to see them in a house. Like I saw Hatebreed in a literal house playing, which is insane to think about now because they're still this gigantic band. Jamie has gone on to host Headbangers Ball and stuff like that. And I got to see them in a tiny house and just stuff like that. So obviously, once the demo came out, it didn't take long for Hatebreed to catch on in Connecticut. They were almost immediately popular. They were almost immediately playing gigantic shows outside of that house. That house was very early on, but they're a very popular band. So everybody's just waiting for a follow-up, and the follow-up was Under the Knife. Originally, this was on a tape. They self-released this as a tape. It wasn't a demo, but it was just a tape. And I think we had that tape even months before the official tape came out. It was like the worst kept secret of Connecticut. Everybody had that tape. Mm-hmm. So by the time the 7-inch came out, we were fucking sick of it. We're over it. But like even that the tape was just like, oh my God, this is like this is even better than the demo. What could they possibly do next? So I have basically been intertwined from a very far distance with this band for a lot of my life, and now we are here talking about them. So we are going to go over the members of who played on this 7-inch, which they would drastically change their lineup immediately after the 7-inch was released. But luckily for us, most of these people are just back in Hatebreed, so they don't really have to like catch up with them. Yeah. Chris Beatty played bass on this. I don't know that guy. I've never talked to him in my life. As far as I know, his name is X'd out of Hatebreed on the Discogs, but I'm pretty sure he's still on Hatebreed.
It says he's out. He says on his website that he's the ex-bassist, so I think it's recent though. Like just
it must be very recent.
Yeah.
So you have to go to Chris's Instagram, and it is just chock full of AI. He's been making some AI ads for, I guess, his liquor store he owns.
Yeah.
He also dabbles into real estate. But I was talking to some people about this week. Doing this podcast, I think it's safe to say a lot of old hardcore dudes love AI. They just fucking love that shit, man.
Yep.
So I don't fault it for them, but whatever. But yeah, I don't really know Chris, so I have no stories about him.
Yeah, so he owns a couple liquor stores called the Booze Box, and I guess they're only like a block away from each other. Yeah. So Chris has the booze needs of that block just totally locked down. That's his block. This is also how I found out that Connecticut has the stores where you can get beer and booze, like hard booze in the same place, which you can't do in New York. And they're open till 10, which you can't do in New York. So it seems like kind of a utopia for getting drunk. Connecticut might be the spot to retire to, you know. And yeah, he's a real estate agent. His company stole your business name, Mike Maverick Realty. The Realty IG just seems to be an extension of his booze IG really now. He just kind of posts about the liquor store and his base stuff. Not many properties for sale. Maybe it's truly just dabbling. He has some posts from Fox News about illegals stealing our housing. But then he also has posts about how banks and private equity are also stealing our housing and that our tax dollars shouldn't be funding new wars. But there's one catch. Those complaints all happened during the Biden administration. So he hasn't been talking about those problems during the Trump administration. His God of Base site also sells, it's mostly picks and I think one coffee thing. And at least one pack has a go woke, go broke, and woke free zone set of designs. So Chris seems cool. Yeah. He and his wife also got married in a funeral home, which is very goth.
You play enough music for cops, you become one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Dave Russo played drums. I haven't really thought about what Dave was up to in the future because I haven't seen or talked. He probably doesn't even remember me. I haven't talked to this dude in fucking 30 some years. Mm-hmm. It says he played drums for a band recently called Murmur, which was like a side project of a bunch of other Connecticut dudes. Peter Morrissey from 100 Demons and Forced Reality, and Ryan from Jagged Visions. But outside of that, I don't know. Dave was probably the guy who got most upset when we talked about miasm. We used to also write miasm everywhere. That was our me and my friends' joint tag, is we would write miasm everywhere and make stickers and stick them everywhere that just said miasm. Yeah. And if he saw one, he would cross it out immediately because he did not like being reminded of miasm. I don't know what those dudes went through where they were so upset about miasm, but. His Instagram's private too, but yeah, I'm glad he's still alive. I'm glad he's still kicking.
I love that. I love it because I've seen only a couple pictures of him, and he's a guy with glasses. So I picture him pushing his glass up his nose, getting a sharp out and crossing out the miasm. That's fucking amazing. The fact that you guys tormented him by enjoying his band is next level. Yeah, I found like some posts about him playing in the bands Dead City and Lost Generation, which also seemed like a bunch of Connecticut dudes. Yeah. Active War is with him and Chris Beatty, a bunch of Connecticut dudes. Otherwise, he keeps a low profile. I couldn't find anything about him.
Next up is Larry Dwyer, who played guitar. We talked about Larry in the 2x4 episode, which that was on the regular feed. That wasn't a Patreon thing. So I probably said this at the same episode, but I briefly went to high school with Larry. I was a freshman. He was a senior, I believe. It was when I briefly went to tech school. If you don't know what tech school is or vocational school, it's when they make you do a job for half the year. And when you're a freshman, you just gotta go to all the classes. You gotta go to orientation, basically a consultation or whatever it's called, and you try out what shitty job you want for the rest of your life. And Larry was in house painter class, which shouldn't be a class for that, but that was where we found out that's where all the Hessians were, because this was like I lived in Larry's also from Bridgeport. I'm from Bridgeport. A couple of these guys are from Bridgeport. Bridgeport's predominantly black and Latino, but Bullard Havens, the tech school we went to, was kind of mixed. So this was like going to Bullard Havens was my first experience with like real metal dudes too. So and Larry was a real metal dude, and he was in painting class, and he used to hang out with this dude named Love, who just like Danzig. But again, I didn't know I didn't know who the Misfits were, so I just thought this was a weird dude, and he had like the Danzig skull on his jacket and stuff, and I was just like, that's an evil dude. And I remember he used to hang out with that dude, but I didn't know him then. I got to know him like, little here and there over the years. We follow each other on Instagram. He seems to be into like doing a lot of horror stuff in Connecticut, which is very cool. He's a family man, seems to be doing good, and I'm very glad because Larry has always been a nice guy. And, I'm glad he's doing like weird horror shit, because that's very, very cool to me.
Yeah, his feed is nothing but that. There's a couple things about him being in bands and him still I guess he plays in Death Threat. Yeah, whenever they reunite and stuff like that. But I would have figured you'd be rolling deep with this guy. He's from Connecticut. He's into horror. Yeah. That's everything you love, Mike.
I know.
Your two favorite things, Connecticut and horror. And you're not in the crew with this guy and like putting on festivals. So he has one of the most complete IMDb pages I've ever seen on this podcast and in life. Just for like a few movies that he's in. I guess he's like guested in a few horror movies with his buddies or something like that. But he has really spruced up his IMDb profile. And yet he has a regular ass job. When we talked about him on 2x4, he was a project manager for a real estate software company. He's stepped it up now. He's project manager in some bigger tech company now. And you wouldn't guess that from anything about any aspect of his online presence. There's like, you look at his LinkedIn, he's in a suit and tie, he's looking great, sharp as the track. In no capacity does he look like a man who even owns or even knows where to get a suit. So this guy leads like 3 or 4 separate lives. It's kind of intense.
I did forget to mention that he left Hatebreed to start Death Threat. So and then he pieced out a Death Threat pretty quick. But again, I think he does reunions and stuff with them here and there. Yeah. Speaking of guys who left Hatebreed to start a Death Threat, Wayne Lozniak played guitar. Again, he was also in 2x4. I think he was in 2x4. So I might have said all this stuff before. But Wayne dated the first older hardcore person I was friends with. This girl named Shanna, I can't even remember her name, which is sad because I used to hang out with this girl very often. But I met her in a health food store. She was working at a health food store. Again, I talked about a health food store is not a fucking term anymore. Yeah. But back then it was a term. She worked at a health food store, and I was wearing a Snapcase shirt, and she was like, "I like your shirt." And I had never met anybody in my life that knew what hardcore was besides my friends at that point. And I was like, "This is the coolest girl ever." She dated Wayne for a while, and I told this story that the first time I heard the aforementioned Wartime Manor was because of Wayne, because we were leaving a show and he was in 2x4, and Rick to Life gave him the Wartime Manor demo and said, "Hey, I want to make a split with you guys in this band. Check it out." And the ride home, Wayne put on that Wartime Manor demo, and we were like, "What the fuck is this?" And so I have to credit Wayne for letting me know who Wartime Manor was.
Nice.
But yeah, he's back in Hatebreed. After a long hiatus, he seems to be pretty much back in Hatebreed.
Yeah, it looks like I guess I caught this last time and didn't catch it this time, that he took a few years off for whatever reason to do Death Threat, and then was their guitar tech, and then slid back into the role. Yeah. And I watched a couple of guitar videos with him on YouTube, and it's kind of funny because there's a lot of videos where they make him play like his favorite metal riffs. There's like many of these videos, and he'll play like Kiss and Judas Priest and Sabbath. All just sounds like he's playing Hatebreed. Like he plays them all wrong. He just kind of plays Hatebreed riffs that are vaguely shaped like Sabbath riffs and stuff. By the way, Wayne's our Kiss guy of the week. He's known to do a little Fraley posting. He's a Kiss guy. Talks about him a lot. And last year he had a giant tumor pulled out of his skull. He had a huge like baseball seam stapled into his head, which looked really cool. But he always wears one of those giant hats, so you'll never see it. But apparently yanking it out gave him like a mild stroke, and then he had to relearn how to talk and play guitar. But good news, he only had to learn to play Hatebreed riffs. So he was literally back on stage within like weeks of all that happening.
And finally is, of course, Jamie Josta, the singer of Hatebreed. You know this guy. He hosted Headbangers Ball. He has his own pasta called Josta Pasta. I think he does a podcast. He does everything. He's been like this forever. He's been a mover and shaker. He's only a couple years older than me, I think. And he's been a mover and shaker since we were both young boys. So this is all the life Jamie knows, and everybody knows who Jamie is.
Yeah. I've been kind of a funk lately, like maybe worse than a funk. On the show, we do a lot of like nihilistic chat, but in practice, I'm a problem solver, and I tend to try to get things done. I get through things. Lately, I'm not really getting after it. I'm kind of like low E, low T, all of it, just low. So this was a tough episode to crack the books on, because we're talking about these guys being cop rockers, and I'm like, there's a non-zero chance I'm going to be really annoyed. But when I look into these guys, and I'm going to be looking at a lot of dog whistle posting or some shit. But also, what if I don't? What if I get to Jamie's feed and he's like, it's going to cost me $200,000, but fuck ice. And I'd be like, holy shit, right on. That would be such a cool bump in my week. I'd have been restored. It would have gone right back up. And so, that I spent like quite a while because I don't get right to the homework. It takes me a while. So I was in quantum superposition where, my suspicions were both confirmed and blown out of the water. And it was stressful. Like, what's it going to be? And it turns out, obviously he knows how to play this game.
Yeah. So
he both sides, he shucks and jives with both sides, pretty incredibly. It's not even all that offensive if you don't pay too close attention. He doesn't go public with politics all that much anyway, but he's done it. He's definitely spoken out a few times. And what he does, he says, fuck all. He says nothing of substance. He's just like, well, what we need is level heads, and we need to talk to everybody. Trump's economy is bad, but Biden's stutter was bad too. Those aren't equal, Jamie. And then he's also someone who suffers from being a famous entertainer since he was a boy. So he's got showbiz brain, where he thinks like showbiz issues are important. And one of the videos, he's talking about politics with the guy, and they're talking about like the Paris bombings. And he's like, man, I toured the Muslim countries. Those people love metal and hardcore. They're great over there. They're big supporters of metal and hardcore. Like, dude, that is not what we were talking about. That has nothing to do with bombing, bro. And he's got like kind of cancel culture on the brain. I don't think you should go down for posting some stuff. It's like, well, okay. Jamie, normal people don't think about that. Normal people don't think about only famous people and public people think about cancel culture, because you've been famous for too long. I understand. And he also says, I get it. He says, I get it a lot. When he encounters something that he knows he should push back on, instead of pushing back he says, I get it. I get why you say that, which is nice in a certain way. Oh, and actually one other thing I noticed, you talked about Josta Pasta. Last time we checked in on him, I could have sworn he was doing a lot more of that goofy merch. The pasta's sold out now. I thought they were doing coffee. Chris does CTHC coffee, which is a bad idea. Yeah. He put out a coffee with THC in the name, but it's not THC coffee, which exists, and which probably a few people were like, what the fuck? Why am I not high? But I thought Hatebreed was doing coffee. So, not now, possibly because of the president that you're not taking any stance on. Maybe like your merch game is hurting because of the guy that you're refusing to talk about. And I'm not an idiot, right? I wasn't expecting anything better than what I encountered. I know that he's a bottom line guy, and I knew he was going to be protecting that bottom line. But it's not fair. It's Mike, it's not fair that I get to be depressed by the most inspirational man in dirtbag festival core. That's not fucking fair. But for me, like the bigger revelation from his Wikipedia was that Jamie recently fronted an SOD tribute band.
Yeah.
Most of that tribute band was SOD.
Yes.
So I like the original SOD record just as much as anyone, but I haven't paid any attention to like all the stuff they've done since the comeback in the 90s. And I only just learned from this that Billy and Scott have been on the outs for like 20 years. And Scott and Dan just keep doing tribute acts to SOD. They just keep like forming SOD with other people, which is funny because, I mean, for one thing, you can't do a tribute act to yourself, Scott. You can't. That's very silly. But in like way back, like 15 years ago, Scott said it was never supposed to be anything more than it was. As far as I'm concerned, we did too much with it already. It started out as a comic strip I drew in the studio and then turned into this record we made. But you know, that's all it is for me. I'm glad everyone around the world got to see it at least once again, because in 99, 2000, we played everywhere. I don't feel like I need to go out and do that again. Really, Scott? Because you've been doing it every fucking year since then.
Isn't his son, or maybe Danny's son, is in it too?
Yeah, like one of their kids played, because I guess Charlie did a couple SOD things himself, so they all get to use the name SOD. Everybody but Billy gets to use it, I guess. This is not a situation where I have any hard feelings toward Jamie, because if like you asked me to be an SOD with Dan Lilker, I'm going to be an SOD with Dan Lilker. That sounds very good to me. I just had no idea that it had gotten this stupid for this long. It's very surprising to me.
I did forget to mention that a couple of years ago, Jamie produced the Corpse Grinder solo album, and it is amazing because it just sounds like a dude from Hatebreed producing a dude from Cannibal Corpse's record, and that is two amazing things together. So if you have slept on the Corpse Grinder record, go pick it up because it's fucking great.
I have to get around to listening to his And Justice for All cover record because I haven't listened to that yet either.
I don't think I've ever heard that either.
Yeah. It's a good pun. And Justice for All, I mean, honestly, that's a pretty good pun. He probably just made it because the pun was there.
Yeah. So this was on Smorgasbord Records, and for the sake of brevity, just rewind a few episodes, and we already talked about Smorgasbord Records like 2 or 3 weeks ago. This was also, it doesn't say on Discussed, some of these pressings were also on Stillborn too, which was Jamie's record label, but nothing really to report there either. So yeah, I don't have anything to add about Smorgasbord that I didn't say a couple weeks ago, although Chris, the owner of Smorgasbord, did chime in on our Instagram post for Bloodlet and told us, like, you know, how the Bloodlet record came about and everything. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the news cycle doesn't move quick enough for new things to have happened. But there is a famous Smorgasbord straight edge shirt, which is cool and well known, and it gets repressed like every 10 years. And I was just wondering, I forget. Well, I'll look and see if I can score one. That'll be my big get for the episode. I'll go get a really shitty straight edge shirt. It's not currently the right time. None are floating around, and I just missed the 30th anniversary pre-sale. So I'm not going to be wearing that anytime soon. But I found an article on the Smorgasbord varsity jacket. Chris Daly, I guess, pretty famously, I possibly invented the idea of wearing varsity jackets as straight edge. That he's credited with that, I guess. There's pretty good evidence he's one of the early guys, at least. And so there's a blog article. It's pretty funny to read how careful and deliberate this jacket was. Because I think a lot of us, maybe not everybody, but when I see old photos, like when I see Al from SSD with that straight edge jacket, you know, the famous thing where they're walking up the steps and he's wearing the straight edge on his jacket, you assume that's done on a whim. That he got a bottle of white out or paint or something like that and had a free night and just made himself a straight edge jacket and showed up the next day and was like, oh, you know, like that's what you think. You think it's freewheeling, spur of the moment stuff. Not with this. Chris Daly dreamed about making this jacket for ages. He spent months scouring sporting goods stores in multiple states looking for the perfect jacket. Finally found a blank Letterman jacket that fit him. He spent all his money getting it. And then because he spent all that money, he had to wait for another few months and save up more money to get the letters done, which was also very expensive at the time because he had to go to like the Champion store or whatever and get all those letters put on individually. So this was like a months-long process and a big reveal to make this fucking, it's just a jacket that says, it says Smorgasbord, the straight edge on the back in varsity letters. That's it. There's nothing, but it was cool. It looks cool. And then the shirt that everyone bought is modeled on that jacket. That's why it's written that way on the back of the jacket. So there's no punchline to this other than just to marvel at like the quiet desperation of young people, like how they toil away in the dark for months to make it like they just rolled out of bed cool that day. Now you can easily buy like a vegan Letterman jacket with a big X in the front. You can just buy that and put your stupid like scene or crew name on the back, like a big strong athlete with a PayPal account. But for my money, the Smorgasbord jacket looks better. And also I think the Smorgasbord X fist is better than the Youth of Today one. In fact, I'll say it. The Youth of Today fist sucks shit. I hate the Youth of Today fist. Smorgasbord X fist is number one.
Okay, now we can get this record out onto a tray. Nice. Ooh, double one. So yes, this is the Hatebreed Under the Knife 7-inch. This is the premiere of the arched Hatebreed logo. They didn't add the flames yet. It's just the arched Hatebreed logo. Before this, their logo was just an impact font, and then an impact font with a stroke behind it. Even if you go to the cassette's the old Hatebreed logo with the impact font with the two maces around it. But this is where this is the origin of the arched Hatebreed logo. And there was a famous Smorgasbord shirt with it said Smorgasbord on the breast with a big Hatebreed live shot on the back of the thing. That I wish I still had that shirt. That shirt goes for like $500 now or something like that. I think somebody made bootlegs a while ago, and I was like, oh, I got to get it, and then I just didn't, and I kind of regret it, but whatever. And the cover features Under the Knife in the faux papyrus font. It's not papyrus, but it's the one that looks like it. And it has a monkey being tortured because it was the 90s. So if you needed to know that there was a hardcore record, chances are it was a monkey being tortured on it. It's either a Carcass record or a Hatebreed record or just a 90s hardcore record. So you get that.
Into another.
Yeah. We talked about on the Patreon, we talked about Carcass. I kind of hate this imagery now. At the time, it was like, everybody's like proving a point or, trying to prove a point of an injustice of animal cruelty. We'll get into the animal cruelty undertones of this Hatebreed 7-inch when we talk about the music. But, no, there was at no point where Hatebreed, big vegan warriors or anything. So it's kind of a weird move. I forgot to mention that too when we're talking about Hatebreed. So to backtrack a little, this is 2 segments ago, when Hatebreed started, they had Jamie had a falling out because Joss 14 was like the house band of the tune-in, and they had a falling out, or he had a falling out with Fernando Pinto, the owner of the tune-in and the booker of the tune-in. So Hatebreed's whole deal when they started was very DIY hardcore, refused to play the tune-in. That was the big corporate club, even though back then it meant the tune-in charged $8 for shows, and people were like, that's insane. $8, that's fucking crazy. and why are you charging $8 when all these other shows are $5? So that was Hatebreed's whole deal when they started. They were never going to play a show over $5. They were like the big DIY warriors of Connecticut. That's why they did that's not why, but that famous flyer of them playing CBGBs with Monster X and Voorhees. It's they were a part before they became what they became. They were that's what they were aiming for, is to be like that, to be these kind of underground kings. So again, I think that leads to this cover of the animal cruelty, because that was just kind of the deal back then. That's how you proved that you were down for the underground, is that you cared about animal cruelty. I do not know if they just maybe thought that was a sick ass picture of a monkey being tortured and that's why they used it. I really don't know why they used this, but I don't think it ages well. I don't think any of that shit ages well, but the 90s was a different time. Back cover features Jamie doing one of his famous karate kicks. Jamie was known for this back in the day. You would go see Just 14 just to see how many karate kicks he would do on stage. So it's glad that he's immortalized forever, because I haven't seen Hatebreed in 25 years, I don't think. I assume he doesn't do karate kicks anymore. He's an older man now. I don't think he's doing 17 karate kicks per show, but
still in good shape for an old guy though. He's pretty slim. But
I'm just gonna assume he doesn't do them anymore, but maybe he does. But he's doing a fucking epic one on the back of the Smorgasbord, the under the Knife 7-inch. So you get that immortalized forever. Great picture of Jamie. The insert I have not seen in so many years, because I did own this record at one point. I think I lost it when I moved here, because there's definitely a grip of 7 inches that I owned in New York that I no longer own in Chicago. And I don't know if they're just in a box I've never unpacked or what the deal is, but so this is one of them. But so I haven't seen this insert in a minute. If you were disappointed that they used the fake papyrus font on the cover, don't worry, 'cause the real papyrus font is inside the insert. Yeah. They were nice enough to include the old lineup, which recorded this record, as well as the new lineup, which included Matt from Eventide, who we covered at an episode a while ago, and Lou Boulder Richards, who has passed away since then. But this is just a disgustingly ugly layout. They just put a bunch of pictures and every font they could find on a computer. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like a band who's gonna persevere for the next 30 years. That's for sure.
Right.
This looks like any shitty local 7-inch insert you've ever seen in your life. But you know, that's how they started out. The other side has just all the lyrics in I guess it's the same font. They're just all different sizes for some reason. And
they're squished in all different ways.
Yes, they're squished in all different ways.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for it. They have a lot of space. They don't have that many lyrics, but I don't know. They just decided to squish them for some reason. So you get all they're all like justified center, even like center justified, even though like they're all, you know, it's 3 columns. Like, why are you justifying them all in the center? That's weird. I don't know. This is a mess. This is a mess of a 7-inch. The record labels, one side just says Hatebreed pretty plainly with the record titles. The other side has a guy who looks like he's dead, but I think that guy's just sleeping. I've always just thought that was just like a drunk guy that was sleeping. Maybe it is a dead guy. I'm pretty sure there's a drunk guy that's sleeping that just looks like a dead guy. Not gonna lie, for such a legendary 7-inch record, not the best layout of all time, that's for sure. This looks like any single 90s local band from your scene. They could slip right in with any other shitty 90s mosh band you had seen back then, because this is nothing legendary at all.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of bootleg shirts and miasm, if you want a First 7-Inch Club Feel Free to Slam shirt, I can get you a secret link. They are still available. So from the cover, you know, we're expecting some really fiery vegan straight edge devastation. It's definitely coming. Being against vivisection was hot. It was hot. Skinny puppy, hot. It was big deal. But just a very normal part of being hardcore. If you had large jeans, you had to be like anti-vivisection, and you didn't have to. Yeah. There was no commitment level to it. You could just say, "Yeah, I'm totally fucking anti." Not guarantee you that most people don't even know what it actually was about or what it meant.
It was very rare to go to a show back then where there wasn't somebody putting a petition in front of your face to ban the circus. Yeah, like that was a normal thing at shows back then, was to ban the circus, and you would just sign it because you're like, okay, like I don't give a shit. I'm 16.
Yeah, I'm not 4. I don't go.
Sure, let's ban that circus. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. So that was the climate back then.
It's a pretty tough photo. They handle it. It's kind of interesting because the monkey is kind of like blurry with kind of haunted black eyes, but his paw or whatever it is that's up front is very clear. So you're getting some dynamism on the photo there. It's pretty neat. Marred only slightly by the Hatebreed logo, which sucks. Definitely, the one with the flames is when it becomes a cop logo. It's such a cop logo now. It looks so good on like the plate carrier, on your tactical plate carrier now. It looks fucking nice next to your blackout flag and your Punisher skull. Choice. I've always hated every incarnation, even the one with the maces of the Hatebreed logo. The normal burning one's obviously the worst one. This plain old unaltered English font, it should be fine. It's just old English. We all did. We all have Hatebreed written on our stomachs this way, but it just kind of tests my patience.
That's a weird color choice.
Yeah, the blue with the yellow and like multiple outlines. But good stroke, great stroke on that one. So
later pressings they added the flame font to it.
Yeah, they did. They really messed with the cinematic nature of the cover. They put the monkey in like a black box and everything. So hey, that's not Papyrus, right? That's Papyrus's no good cousin, Present. This is a font called Present. Present is every bit as much of a coffee house and yoga studio cliche, but I think it's cheaper, and I think it prints faster. Because one thing people don't always remember about Papyrus, if you don't look at it up close very often, is that it's got little like jagged tears in the font, as though it's written on papyrus. That slows your printer down. So now you get Present. It's like it comes right out. Present looks truly bad on the back cover. It's in the same exact FFF00 yellow as the cover, but it's over. This photo is like real disposable camera looking. It's got that blur of like a cheap disposable camera, and it's a photo of all the shittiest sneakers in Connecticut gathered on one stage. Really dirty, shitty sneakers. Mike, was this representative of the sneaker game in Connecticut at the time?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Running shoes were so big, and I used to love running shoes. Mm-hmm. I don't have nostalgia. Like I have a nostalgia for a lot of stuff in the 90s, a lot of clothing, a lot of fashion. But looking at like the state of running shoes of the 90s, I do not have nostalgia for them. But yeah, like at the time, they were just like everybody had running shoes. By running shoes, I don't know what people are imagining in my head, but Google 90s Nike running shoes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And none of them are good anymore. They're all ugly.
Yeah, it was kind of a look to have like the stylish giant jeans that almost look like they were kind of tucked into your like giant foamy running sneakers. I think the most visually striking thing in the photo, apart from Jamie's pasty legs, which are glowing, is there's like a wall of hot dogs in the background or something. I don't know what that, it looks like a padded barrier. Maybe it's like a disco ride. It's something really weird, but it's been decorated with like music notes and squiggles. It's really hot dog coded, whatever it is. Smorgasbord's written their name and the release number in a vanishing shade of purple. The logo looks fine. I think the logo's cool. The band photo page, as Mike alluded to, is madness. It looks like friendship ended with Mudasir, and now Salman is my best friend. It looks like that meme. They got as many guys as they could get up top, and then they just stuck a big, huge oval with, whoops, we forgot Larry. We forgot Larry. He's not in here. And then, bam, we get the papyrus finally. Your body was craving it. Present doesn't hit like papyrus, guys. Your veins can tell. They know it needs papyrus. And then under that papyrus is everybody in Hatebreed. It's like 14 people, and all their friends. And so the lyric sheet knew you still had room in your body for more fonts. And it's here's Bank Gothic. But Bank Gothic has been scaled, squished, and squeezed differently for each song, as though they wanted 4 more fonts. But somebody talked them out of it, and they said, well, I'll fucking fix you. I will make Bank Gothic into 4 different fonts by force. And it's tough. And the Morningstar clip art in the background is some Bathory shit. It's cool. But the problem is that the way they present it, because it's kind of upside downsy, it looks like a baseball bat. Yeah. And every time I look away and look back, it's a baseball bat. You can't make it, like, to me, you can't make it not a baseball bat. I can't even see the like the Morningstar thing at the other end for the mace, whatever. I guess it's a mace when it doesn't have the chain.
It's definitely at the time what we considered a Dungeons and Dragons weapon, but Hatebreed claimed it, I guess, so it's no longer D&D.
Yeah. Side A of the record delivers yet one more font. They do it's almost like a college font. I think it's Baton or something. It's very hardcore looking slab font. Side B looks like Jamie now. I don't know if Mike's seen Jamie recently. Jamie looks like this.
He has weird long hair now.
He's got a long beard.
Long hair. Yeah.
He's kind of like Lord of the Rings style now. He's got like a Hobbit look to him.
Yeah.
And it makes him, I don't think Jamie looks all that small, but with all that hair, he kind of looks like a little guy now with his like long beard. But yeah, this is how he looks now. He grew out everything. He's in full like Sasquatch scum mode for his, scum metal band that he tours with now. You thought we were done with fonts, but we weren't, because Hatebreed have thoughtfully tucked the actual college font just into the letter B for side B. Just one character. They gave you the hardcore college font in case you were missing it. So that's hard as nails. I actually really like this layout. Like this, this is great.
Well, there you have it. So now we can get into the music. I don't know if that's going to be literally getting into the music because of our woes, but maybe you'll hear some breakdowns here and there. Mm-hmm. This is 4 tracks. This is the opposite of full sound. It is very short. The CD versions would end up tacking on the demo with this. I don't know why they didn't do that with the 7-inch. I'm pretty sure they could have still fit the entire demo on the second side of the 7-inch and just made the side A the actual 7-inch. I don't know. Maybe it was like 30 seconds too long.
Is it different songs? It's totally different songs in the demo?
Yeah, it's 3 songs. There's 3 songs in the demo, totally different songs. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't tack it on the 7-inch too. Maybe there really wasn't space, but this is only it's only about 6 minutes of music on this. It feels like they could have tacked it on, but maybe not. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we get 4 tracks, 2 on each side. And the first track on side A is Smash Your Enemies. So I have gone this whole entire episode without spilling my guts that Hatebreed Under the Knife is my all-time favorite hardcore 7-inch of all time. Like there's no contest. I would even argue, I could argue confidently, I don't know if people would believe me, that this is the best hardcore 7-inch of all time. Like
Wow.
that's how strongly I feel about this 7-inch. I think this is like the best 6 minutes of hardcore that anybody has ever written to me. And yeah, wow. I feel like that way. And like I said, I could argue about it because I think like the Hatebreed, obviously after this, they've had years and years and years and years of middling records that are just like they're Hatebreed music. They don't play hardcore anymore. They play Hatebreed music, and that's what happens when you're a big band. It's like Cannibal Corpse. They play Cannibal Corpse music. Any of the Terror, they play Terror music now. Mm-hmm. They don't play hardcore. They play their own genre of music, and that's what Hatebreed has played for 20 years now. Yeah. But so people, I think, forget that at one point they did play hardcore, and it was very good, and it was very, even though it's really just fucking slams. That's all it is. It's slams and hardcore. This was very revolutionary at the time. No one was doing this. They were the first band to be like, let's be hardcore, but add like, Entombed and Suffocation slams to it. And that's all it took. That's all it took to create like a whole different subgenre of hardcore. They're the first ones to do this. Connecticut changed overnight. It just it was like you had all those bands with the noodly bassists and just the groove parts. And Hatebreed came and everything changed. Every band just formed and sounded like Hatebreed after that. All over the country, but, stemming from Connecticut and just blossomed out from there. So, with that said, this is my favorite hardcore 7-inch. And I think it really is a contender for greatest hardcore 7-inch of all time. Just how influential this band was and how influential their early pre-Victory stuff was. Even though everybody wants to pretend they just started with Victory and that was the first thing they recorded. And that is not true. But back to Smash Your Enemies. So with that said, admittedly, this 7-inch sounds like total dog shit. It sounds fucking awful. And as the years go by, it sounds worse and worse every year. Every time I listen to it. Every year I'm like, oh, maybe it's not as bad as I remember. It sounds horrible. The drums are mixed completely up front. All you hear is China cymbal for most of the thing. It's just horrible, and it gets worse. I swear in my brain, it sounds much better on the tape. Sounds much better, and that's just probably my brain, just probably my kid brain, because I haven't heard it from cassette in a long time. But I'm pretty sure it was just made and not really mixed for record. Yeah, because who was doing that back then, and so I just don't think it really translated well. But with that said, some good things sound like shit sometimes. You can't do anything about it. So admittedly, this sounds like shit. I'm not going to defend the actual recording of this because it's bad. With that said, vocally, this is Jamie at his best. Jamie was workshopping like how death metal he could get, the whole entire genesis of Hatebreed, and this is it. This is where he landed. This is like death metal, like almost level 1. Level 1 being the best. And I remember to this day, I still don't know if it's true or not, but I remember Aaron had some like underground Hatebreed stuff that was allegedly recorded at Max Tracks, and I've never been able to confirm or deny it was real, but it sounded
I was there for that.
Yeah. For Hatebreed, like you were literally at Max Tracks when Hatebreed was recording?
Yeah, they were hanging around, and like I was like, I don't even know who the fuck he is.
Okay, so after 20 some years, Scott he's the second person, like the witness that can confirm that Hatebreed did record at Max Tracks. Aaron had those tracks.
Oh, that's Brett. I bet you Brett has them. Brett
probably still has them. That's where Aaron probably got them. And they were too death metal. Like Hatebreed was like, it was over the top death metal. And it wasn't, it was fine, but it wasn't this 7-inch. It was too much. I might still have those tracks somewhere. I don't think so. But then, they would go on to record for Victory anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, so there is some hidden Hatebreed out there, guys. If you want to find Brett, he might still have the tracks if you wanted to hear like what they were trying to do after Under the Knife. It was a little too death metal. But this is my preferred lane of Jamie's vocals. When I remember when the Victory record dropped, I was like, oh man, because he kind of like went back to like Josta 14, kind of just like shouting, and it wasn't as so I didn't like it as much. Either way, Smash Your Enemies, one of the hardest track 1s to a 7-inch of all time. Has the classic line, when I wake up the real nightmare begins. Oddly enough, it's kind of like a Mandela effect thing where you assume when I wake up the real nightmare begins leads to an epic mosh part. It does not. at least the circle pitting part. It's so that is kind of weird because your brain just assumes at least this mosh part. But don't worry, because when he says, I gotta fight back, I won't be scarred for life, that is the epic mosh part. When 7,000 people in a 400 capacity room scream, I won't be scarred for life at the same time, you know you're moshing after that. Yeah. This is technically probably the best song on the entire 7-inch, but it's not my favorite. So we'll get to that when we hit it. But yeah, this is like, if for some reason you went your whole life without hearing Hatebreed, if you hear Smash Your Enemies and you don't like it, I don't think you're gonna like Hatebreed. But this is probably pound for pound their best song.
I don't know how this could be number one when Christmas Sucks by Cold Turkey is out there. This is like, that's. I'm curious if Mike and I are going to be clashing lightsabers by the end of this because there's a song on here that I specifically didn't like as much as the others. If that's his favorite, I might not survive. This might be last episode 245 and no further. This is as far as we get. So narratively, I was a little disappointed because on the lyric sheet, this song is last. And I read through the lyrics first because I went straight to the lyric sheet. I was like, I got to get the straight dose. Like I get the Jamie, the promise. And it seems like he didn't have a handle on his like hardcore Tony Robbins methods for the whole 7-inch until you get to this song. And so I was going to build the whole arc around that, about his hero's journey from whatever to this song. And actually, this song kind of sounds like it was recorded last because his voice sounds a little shot, but that's not an insult because when Jamie's voice is shot, it's still really heavy. So he's got one up on everybody else in the world there. Like when my voice goes out, it is not like this. But he almost sounds like an industrial singer on this track. It's so like, it's so like down in the gutter compared to the other songs. But yeah, here it is. Here's the Hatebreed formula where you examine what a shitbag you are and all that you've become. And you try to figure out how to improve yourself with no help from the outside. No therapy, no medicine, no community. It's up to you. In this song, he's enduring a daily nightmare of living at the literal edge of sanity, and the only tools at his disposal are fight and smash. I live this way as well. I've probably needed therapy for decades now, but I'm just punching my way through life. It seems to be working. So, why rock the boat? In general, one of the things I never connected with on just this branch of hardcore, it's pretty simplistic. Like the riffs are just power chords. I mean, and these guys, I assume they probably down tune, so they don't even really play power chords. They could play with one finger. And the note choices don't really break the bank. It's very meat and potatoes riffing. But this is the most complete, real world, no fooling, ass beating part that we've ever reviewed on this show so far. We've never gotten to anything where it's this, I won't be scarred for life, into a meltdown. Like you could hear it. You could hear like you could hear the floor creaking under the mosh. It's undeniable. It's not an accident. They didn't stumble into making a slam. This is what you're here for. If you make it out alive, that's when the real nightmare begins, I guess. But this is a tough fucking song to follow. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they do. Let's see.
So the next track is called Kill an Addict. So this starts I think every track after this is sub 2 minutes. So I have my rule where I don't want to talk about something for a song if it's longer than the song. So I'm going to fill this with an anecdote. Is that when I was a kid, I used to be a mosher. I used to mosh, and again, Hatebreed changed that because one of the early Hatebreed shows, I was moshing. I don't know what song, but one of these songs, I was moshing, and I got hit so hard in the head by somebody. Wow. Their fist hit me so hard in the head that it left a ring imprint in my head for about a day. Like around my forehead, just the middle of my forehead had somebody's ring imprint in my head. And that was my retirement from normal moshing. I did not mosh too much after that, every once in a while, but I was like, moshing has gotten too violent for me. So I, of course, learned at a young age, and it's because of Hatebreed. So this is one of 2 songs that feature kind of symbolism and kind of flirting with popular 90s hardcore undertones, meaning the sound Kill an Addict sounds like a very militant straight edge song, but I don't think anybody in Hatebreed at this time was even close to straight edge.
Yeah.
Maybe they flirted with straight edge, but I don't think any straight edge guys. And the lyrics are like, again, kind of like how Scott said, where, you know, Jamie's playing both sides on his social media. It's kind of like that too. It's never like, you know, I won't consume your poison or anything like that, but it's like, I'm going to beat the shit out of this fucking addict.
I'm going to take the drugs, but I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. Because this, like, I can do the drugs without being the addict, but this guy is not. He cannot do the drugs without being an addict, so I'm going to kill him. So it's kind of like you're playing both sides. You're playing the straight edge and the people who just want to fight people. So yeah, it's not a straight edge song. I do like that Jamie managed to transcend the word go, because go usually leads to a stupid straight edge youth crew part.
Yeah.
This leads to one of the heaviest mosh parts of all time. He says go, and it's and it's just like, hell yeah, man, we're taking that word back. Now the goons could say go too. So I like that. Yeah. It's great, but it's a quick song that probably not many people actually remember.
Yeah. My worst mosh injury, I think I've talked about before, is when I went to see listener Zach's Metallica cover band, and some human bulldozer came out of the thin blue air and just pushed me with both hands as hard as he could. I was not braced. There was no mosh taking place. I was just standing there, and this guy came out of nowhere, just pushed me bodily to the floor at full force, and I flew through the air like a rock video and like landed on my bad spine and was like scared to move. I was like, I might have a spinal injury right now. And then moments later, when we were standing on, our friend Tom Ace, a full pitcher sailed through the air and just hit him dead in the skull. Yeah. And I was like, this Metallica set's the most violent thing I've ever been to. It's this very scary place to be right now. So this is like, I think it's cool that this is kind of a faster one, because like this is the era where we're still sort of writing the rule book on mosh. Yeah. And when I think of 90s mosh, a lot of what I think of is like slow, drawn out kind of mid-paced stuff. And Hatebreed, like a lot of the songs on this record, are still fast. And I've also seen this record's vocals compared to Sepultura. I didn't hear it on track 1, but you definitely hear it. This sounds like an impression. This sounds like he's doing Chaos AD. He's doing that. And I think that is important, because one of the sort of distinguishing things about, I mean, I don't listen to a lot of Jamie now, but what I think of as a Hatebreed sound is that he shouts a note, and I think it's mostly in key, but I mean, maybe every Hatebreed song is in the same key. It's always in the same key. And Max does that too. So I think Jamie borrowed that idea to build a whole career, and that's cool. I'm not saying that like he ripped it off. Like you hear Jamie a mile away. He sounds like Jamie. He doesn't sound like anything else. But you know, like sort of hearing it develop from a Max Cavalera impression is interesting. I didn't talk about the production much on track 1, because I think it's more noticeable on this. This is very trashy sounding. I think one of the songs even kind of comes in on a whimper, as though they forgot to turn it up at the beginning. Yeah, it's this. So it's just kind of like some oh shit, and turn the knob up and like.
I think that's on every version, because I remember my old version of the tape version being like that. So I think that made it to 7-inch too.
Yeah, it's trashy. These are the fuzziest guitars. This is the woofiest bass. The drums sound like lasagna pans and marbles. It's like a mess. But I don't think it's bad enough to dwell on. Like I think the power of whatever Hatebreed is selling is pretty big, even right at the beginning. And it overcomes, you know, the fact that these are knitting needles in your ears. You take it because he, like Mike says, he shouts go before a mosh breakdown. And then, so this is confusing, because we lived through multiple eras of like kill your local drug dealer type merch. And that doesn't seem to be what's taking place in this song, despite the title. So the first 2 paragraphs are literally about turning your back on an addict. And then the last part is just Jamie feeling himself. He's like, I'm going to do my own thing. And so I'm going to think out loud that killing an addict is metaphorical, that you are eliminating the addiction from your life, and that kills the addict inside of you, or something. Because, you know, satisfaction is the death of desire, is that kind of wordsmithery. Like, I think he's capable of thinking that way. So I don't think it's beyond him. It's hard to tell from this song. It's hard to tell if he nailed the message he was going for in this track. I think he's still thinking it over. Maybe even to this day, he's still thinking about what he wanted to say with this song.
So when we flip it over to side B, and the first track on side B is the titular Under the Knife. This could be about plastic surgery. Who knows? It could just be about getting plastic surgery. Not a big topic in 90s hardcore, so it could be, might have been just workshopping it. Like, maybe people care about plastic surgery. This song, of course, has another epic sing-along built up into an even more epic mosh part. It has I Wanted My Life under the knife. And that's, again, a great visual. I think, overall, I think if you listen to this record, you can really figure out why I am the way I am. This is just, this is pretty much, you listen to this record and you talk to me about music and you just figure it all out. It's just like, oh, it's because of this. That's why Mike is the way he is. It's because of Hatebreed's Under the Knife. And that is true. It's 100,000% true. I do like that they pretty much play the entire song. They do the big sing-along breakdown and then they just run it back again, just half of it. But Jamie has the courtesy to change the lyrics, so that's pretty cool. Because lesser bands would just do the same lyrics over again. We've talked about it 1,000 times on the show of bands doing that. But no, Jamie was like, I'm going to get another paragraph in there. So I appreciate that. You come for the mosh parts, and Jamie's like, no, I'm going to school you on some knowledge about being under the knife too. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So this is another punky song. It's fast. It's got some real Fat Wreck type stops and starts, like super no effect shit in the song. Sounds just like Lagwagon. So I would say this song is where I got kind of distracted by how simple the guitars are, because there's like a slow, sludgy riff that leads into the first mosh part, and that could have used like an integrity high note, like a ringing out over on top, something like that. That's what I would have liked. But Hatebreed is a real mean and clean operation. There's no extra sounds. No extra sounds at all in Hatebreed, at least in this era. The guitars are just there to be like bulldozers. There's no subtlety. They may not even really riffs necessarily. They're just kind of like hammers. This is another song that is a little lyrically tough to sort out, because the cover has the monkey, and you assume that he's the one who's under the knife. And I read in a few places that people just accept that this song is like an animal rights song. They just like, that's the animal rights song. But that's, that it can't be, like, so if that's the case, then Jamie expects the monkeys and rabbits to also get over their problems without any help. Like the monkey on the cover, you either got to shrug off those restraints and refuse to be chopped up, or you got to slit your wrist. Be a fucking man, monkey. Quit being such a fucking pussy. That's what the song is saying. So I'm going to read this as a more crystallized version of the premise of Smash Your Enemies. Don't go under the knife. Don't get surgery. Don't go to doctors. Medical intervention is for the weak. When you get an infection, just fucking smash your fears and get over it.
And finally, we have the track Filth. So this is the one when we got this tape pre-actual tape release. We were like, is this a vegan song? Have they gone like complete militant vegan? Because it's, I won't consume your filth. And it just sounds like, if you don't know the full lyrics, it sounds like they're talking about, eating meat, because there's a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. But, reading it now, I think it's more like, I'm not going to take your shit, the government stinks, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure even back then he danced around it. If people asked him if it was a vegan song, I'm pretty sure he danced around it back then. Because, playing both sides of the aisle. Maybe it is. If you want it to be a vegan song, it is a vegan song. Yeah. So it worked out that way. With that said, this is my number one Hatebreed slam of all slams. It is my all-time slam of any slam ever written by any slam artist of all time. The jung 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 ding jung 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 jung. I just love that. I just want to fucking punch everything around me when I hear this. It's great, and it's even more great than in the middle of the hardest slam of all time that anybody has ever written. Jamie manages to work in "I'm gonna take you out," and then it keeps slamming. Yeah. Of course, you're gonna take somebody out, man. You can't not take somebody out to this fucking slam. Yeah. It's fucking amazing. It should be illegal to run this slam back twice in the song. It should be illegal. You should have only had to do it once. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. Again, this song was never, maybe, I don't know. I think they might have did that shit where they, like 20 years later, they re-recorded a bunch of shit. So I don't know if they ever redid Filth, but
this year it said there was a news article that said this year they're re-recording this record. I haven't seen anything else about it though, but in February they're supposed to have started re-recording this record, and then it just went into oblivion.
Oh yeah, and like some comedian was supposed to be doing like the vocals on it or something. Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of bummed when Satisfaction came out, and this is one of the songs that didn't make the cut, because this is my all-time favorite Hatebreed song, and unfortunately I think Scott's about to disagree with me, but I really like this slam is just amazing. This has always been my number one Hatebreed song.
Yeah, I'm going to reveal now that I've never listened to this record, obviously. Even though like I would say that I have a growing tolerance for goon metal, and I don't really even have a problem with necessarily, early Hatebreed, but I never saw this blast beat coming. Like this song starts with kind of a blast, and every drummer at this time was like jokey blasting. So it wasn't like an elite secret, like everyone was fake black metal blasting and stuff like that. But it's a surprise for the closing track on this record that it was a duel between a blast beat and like the most ignorant, creepy, crawly mosh part of maybe all time. And the fact that the chorus ends with, it's a superfluous line. Like it doesn't even fit the meter. Going, I'm going to take you out is so fucking funny. Just on its own. Just it's a very funny line to have like. I don't think it even really fits the lyrics. I'm going to take you out doesn't really narratively fit what he's saying. It's just in there, but the way he delivers it, he does it twice, and both times he like Troycore yelps the word out. I'm gonna take you out, like the Arsenio bark on out. But nowhere else on the record does that sound happen. So I'm kind of tired of trying to figure out what Jamie's thinking. I've been reading the tea leaves for 3 tracks now, and here we are. We're at a song that seems to be about some sort of literal genocide. Maybe it's porn, because this would be a porn song now. I'm not going to consume your porn. Yeah. But whatever is causing the bad guys to do the genocide is being fueled by our consumption. So what is that? So Jamie's not going to participate in something. He's wearing Adidas, so it's not sweatshops. He's fine with that. And like we said, we don't really think he's vegetarian or vegan. And he also specifies that it's people, so it's not animals. Like the first stanza in there somewhere says like, people are dying or something like that. So what is it like Thai sex tourism? That's brave. That's a brave stance. Like what is the stance he's taking? I don't know. I don't know what he's fighting against. I can't fucking tell. Maybe it was something topical to the time. Maybe there was some long lost genocide that we just forgot about. So yeah, like we're clashing sabers. I don't like this goofy mosh to be the closer. This seems like, because the other moshes are so thorough, I don't want this one to be the last one. I think it's for the best though, because I think if the track listing on the sleeve was correct, where this was the first song, this might have derailed Hatebreed's career. Like if this is the first song you ever heard, this might have been one and done. Like Hatebreed, yeah, they put that. Like no one would have gotten past it. It's just not. Mike alone would have slammed his way to track 2. The rest of us would have gone like, I don't know, and taken the needle up and put something else on. I think this would have derailed them, actually.
You don't know the fuck you're talking about, but I'm gonna do.
Jun, jun, jun.
It's so good, man. It's the best fucking mosh part they've ever written. I'm gonna take you out. It's so good.
I'm having an asthma attack over this song.
So there you have it. There's Hatebreed's Under the Knife from 1996 on Smorgasbord Records, or Smorgasbord Records if you want to pronounce it like that. At the end of this, I like to do a little rating system. I don't even know why I have to bother with this, but either throw it in the trash, listen to it on streaming, buy it in the bargain bin, buy it for full price, or buy it for collector's prices. If you want a first press of this, it goes for $60 minimum. This is not a cheap record. Luckily, there's about 20 different presses, so you could probably find one for like $20 or maybe even less if you're lucky. This is a pivotal record for me, even though I was down with them since the demo, so it was nothing new when I heard this, but it was still mind-blowing. I can't even imagine. I think the majority of people did hear them with the Victory release. That was the first thing they heard. It was obviously they fucking toured way before Victory. They toured the shit out of the country. So I think people are familiar with them, but there's still people probably didn't go to many shows in rural areas that still heard them the first time through Victory. And they cleaned their sound up a lot by then. It didn't sound like this. they did leave out what I guess Scott would call a goofy mosh part. They left out all the goofier mosh parts and kind of streamlined into that more of like a more palatable like mosh groove.
Yeah.
Even the songs they reworked were kind of in that cleaner sheen. I never liked this. I've always liked the first two things, the brutal shit, the most.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, this is the highest of highest collector's prices for me. I can't. This is my favorite 7-inch of all time. I can't beat it. So
yeah.
It's an easy rating for me.
So a fun fact I withheld until the end here is that if I was going to watch some Hatebreed history videos, I was like, I don't really know. So I know Mike's stories, but I don't know the whole story. So one of the top explainer videos that I found on YouTube is a short that says that the band was founded by a young father who was trying to afford a car for his 16-year-old daughter. I don't think that's true. I don't think it is either. I don't think 14 or 15-year-old Jamie had a 16-year-old daughter he was struggling to support, but nothing else in the video was fake or a lie. Like that's it opens with that line, and I was like, huh, wait, what? And I was like, am I wrong? Is Mike wrong? Is Wikipedia wrong? The rest of the video was all very plausible. It was very straightforward. So I don't know why you opened with that line. Pretty good. I want to take a quick digression. Mike, what do you think the average Hatebreed goon gets out of the Hatebreed lyrics? Do you think they take the positive message, or do you think they just it's just a power fantasy and they just let it happen?
At this point, I don't think anybody really concentrated on the lyrics. They concentrated on the sing-along parts. And then again, with Satisfaction, I think they started streamlining that. I don't think it was till like most people, most of the original people fell off of Hatebreed, where Jamie really perfected the inspirational, self-help through violence lyrics. Until way later. And I could see that attracting cops basically, because it is it's real cop coded. At this point though, I really don't think anybody gave a shit about the lyrics.
It seems like a lot of work. It seems like to even to this day, it seems like kind of a unique idea to do the self-help like death metal thing or whatever, the groove metal thing, and he's pretty dedicated to it, and he's pretty good at it. He's very good at it. He's a real auteur at writing these get the fuck up and dust yourself off and keep trying.
Him and Scott Vogel. There's no one better than him and Scott Vogel on earth.
The idea of writing all this good inspirational stuff just for it to be slam fuel is almost a little heartbreaking. That's 20 years of this guy doing good work for just kind of whatever. I mean, I would bet all my money that he saved a life. So, even if he won't take a stand on ICE, black bagging people into death camps, he saved a few kids over the years. That's not nothing. So good job, Jamie. I want to read something I found in a Reddit post about this album. It said, "Hey, I know this EP paved the way for the most generic beatdown hardcore sound to this day, but I want to focus on bands doing it good. I'm looking for demos, EPs, albums with this aesthetic, the lo-fi rough production, China crash, hyper tight snare, Ibanez guitar blent into a metal zone, stupid breakdowns, very slow shit, dark, scary atmosphere. That's what I like in this EP." I could not have said this better myself. Yeah, that is the perfect review of this record. Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things about this era of hardcore that I think of all the time is that maybe this isn't for everyone, because if you grew up in the mosh scene, maybe you were seeing it differently. But I saw the mosh metal guys as the jocks of the scene. I saw them wearing giant clean jeans, brand new running sneakers, like Mike said, fresh new military cap, whatever you called those mosh hats, fresh, bubble jacket, fresh, kids whose parents bought them their first car core. That's what I think of as mosh stuff, and almost without exception, most mosh bands started off with the gnarliest, shittiest gear. Because they abide by the same rules of punk bands, but they bought their stuff from the mall store instead of the downtown store. So the punk band come out with the old Strat and they run it through some shitty pedal into whatever knockoff combo they could afford. But for the same money, the mosh kid could get a brand new Ibanez Satriani into a Crate Excalibur. Both kids are broke. Both kids sound like shit, but they're worlds apart. And that's why we have mosh metal. I think that's why we have mosh metal. And if you look at any of the earliest photos of any Earth Crisis, name a globally successful mosh band, arena mosh, whatever. They're all playing really cheap, horrible shit in their first configuration. And here you can hear it. You could hear it plain as day on this record. And what I think is interesting is that to this point, to this day, Wayne hasn't really moved beyond that. I watched a rig rundown with him that I think was pretty recent, and he just runs a guitar with like the Metallica EMGs straight into a Marshall JCM 2000 with a noise gate and a tuner. That's it. That's insane for like a touring arena band. I have had multiple JCM 2000s die on me. I don't do fucking anything. And this guy plays through this fragile, known shit box. And I'll bet his roadies and sound guys hate it. Every day they're probably like, dude, please let us replace it with some Misha Mansour plugins and like a, you know, but that's his sound. He's not playing some like fan fret Strandberg headless through. He wouldn't know how. If you handed him like a modern rig, he wouldn't know what to do with it. This is ignorant mosh. And it has its roots in this raw ass lo-fi 7-inch. This is very raw. This is much more raw. If this is all new to you, but you know about Hatebreed, you won't expect how shitty and raw this is. It's impressive. I don't know if this is quite the Hatebreed for me. Like, I probably don't want whatever album they're making right now. I think I want the Hatebreed just one further than this. You know, but that's not taking anything away from this. The fact that these guys are young, I assume the whole band's young. I don't know. Maybe there's like a 40-year-old in the mix or whatever.
No, I mean, like I said, Larry is like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I think Jamie is around they're all around the same age. So yeah.
Yeah. So they're arriving at this like miserable dad sound while they're in junior high. and Jamie had the hardcore TED Talk concept all figured out by what I assume was like, the fourth or fifth Hatebreed song he ever wrote. That's incredible. So they're young guys. That's incredible. The TED Talk is incredible. And most certainly tricking thousands of people into thinking they were buying a vegan straight edge 7-inch is very incredible. That sends electricity through my body. That's a triple play. I'll say it's a hat trick. I don't know what a hat trick is. There's nowhere to go but up from here. So I'm going to give it 10 young boy homophobic slurs out of 10. This is a perfect 7-inch.
There you go. That's the perfect 7-inch. You can't deny it. Hatebreed's Under the Knife. Go check it out if you've never heard it before. It's pretty good. Yeah, so we're going to go and record a Patreon episode talking about another victory artist, Rick Rodney and Strife and his horrible movie God Money. We'll talk about that in a minute. Next week, like I said, I'm going to fuck with my computer and see what the thing is. But either way, actually, I'm not going to say what it is because I haven't checked. No, I will say because I think the person who recommended it said that he has the files just in case it isn't on the internet. But we're going to do another band for the Goons. We're gonna do the Neglect 7-inch.
All right.
So I can't wait to talk about some Neglect. I don't. That's another band where it's muddled in my head what the first 7-inch is. So it might really suck. It might be the worst Neglect ever. So, but it's about time somebody has talked about Neglect. So we'll talk about them in a minute. And yeah, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/first7inch club, and hear us talk about Rick Rodney. Until then, Scott, do you have any last words?
I'd hope to have a big finale where Brett had gotten back to me and I could announce that we would be Patreon paywalling a limit.
We would probably have to, if it like a $50 one, because I think we would get in trouble.
We'll get beaten up. Like
we'd for sure get beaten up for sure.
I'm not hearing from Brett yet, so we're safe for now. But in the meantime, vote. What should we do? Like, what's the answer? Will you pay to hear the full-fledged version of this and hear the crippled version of it, and we'll leave the crippled version to the broke kids, the fucking kids, the broke motherfuckers who don't want to pay shit. So if you want to be on the paying team and you'll pay to hear the music and all that stuff, let me know. I don't want to do double work really though.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, fuck it. Like,
what that means is that the version that gets released will have nothing done to it. Not even a single edit. I will just hit print, put it up live, and then start working on the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't even really. I mean, I'm sure a decent amount of people listen on Spotify, but
yeah,
but it sucks.
Get rid of it. Get Tidal. I don't know what should they switch
Tidal,
to?
get Apple Music. Apple Music doesn't have podcasts though because they have their own podcast app, and you are in no danger of getting copyright struck on Apple because as long as you get approved that one time, that's their check. They never check again. So. Yeah. We could be putting whole movies on this. Just playing the new Spider-Man, just playing the entire dialogue of Spider-Man, and no one would know. Okay, until then, fuck Charlie Daniels.